You've been living someone else's story for too long. It's not your life, it never was. And yet, you've played by the rules, followed the script handed to you. Rules that were never meant for you. Rules designed to keep you small, to box you in, to keep you on a path that wasn't yours to begin with. You've listened to the whispers. You've been told you're too much, too loud, too ambitious, too different, too big for the space you're allowed. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you started to believe it. You started to wonder if the cage was really just your reality, if the walls they built around you were truly the only ones that existed. Well, let me tell you something. Those walls were never real. They were an illusion, a trap built to keep you from realizing that you were always meant to break free. But this is where the game changes, right here, right now. You've been playing by their rules for too long. They told you how to think, how to feel, how to dream. And you've swallowed it all, believing that this was the way things were meant to be. You've sacrificed pieces of yourself in order to fit into a mold that was never designed for your shape. They've told you the limits of your potential, the boundaries of your worth. But it's all a lie. The rules they've set, the game they've had you playing, it's not the truth of who you are, and it's certainly not the truth of what you're capable of. You're standing at a crossroads. The world has told you that you have to follow a script, that you have to play by rules that were written long before you ever existed. But what if I told you that the game was rigged? What if I told you that the rules were always in your hands to change? What if I told you that your power was never taken from you? It was given away, piece by piece. Every time you let someone else define your path. You don't need permission, you don't need approval. You have the power to rewrite the rules of your life. And now is the time to do it. You've been waiting for a sign, for a moment that will validate your strength, your potential, your worth. You've been waiting for someone else to give you the green light. Well, here it is. This is your green light. This is the moment where you stop playing by their rules and start creating your own. This is the moment where you stop believing the lies they've told you about your limitations and start believing the truth about your power. No more second guessing, no more holding back, no more wondering if you're enough, because you are. This is the moment that changes everything. You are not bound by anyone's expectations. You are not limited by the narratives they've written for you. Your life, your journey, your destiny, they are yours to control. And if you're still waiting for permission to take charge of your own story, let me give you that permission now. You are the author of your life. You always have been. All the pain, all the struggles, all the obstacles you've faced, they were never meant to break you. They were meant to fuel you. They were meant to push you to the edge of your own strength so you could see what you're really made of. This moment is the moment you take back control. This is the moment you stop letting the world dictate your worth, your direction, your path. This is the moment you stop being a pawn in someone else's game and start playing by your own rules. There's no going back from here. You are standing on the edge of your transformation. You are on the verge of stepping into the version of yourself that has always been waiting to be unleashed. And when you make that choice, when you decide to walk away from the life they've written for you and start writing your own, the world will never be the same. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Why are you still letting someone else control the game? You were never meant to play by their rules. You were meant to break the game wide open. The time is now. Your power is waiting for you to claim it. And once you do, you will see that this moment, the one you're standing in right now, is the turning point. This is where you stop being a spectator and start being the creator of your own destiny. Your story begins today. Are you ready to take the first step? Because the world won't wait for you. The rules are yours to change, and the only question left is, will you change them? You've felt it, haven't you? The weight of a world that tells you to fit in, to stay in line, to follow the rules they set before you. The constant pressure to be someone you're not, to wear a mask that doesn't fit, just so you can blend in with the crowd. For years, you've been walking a tightrope, afraid to step off, afraid to fall, because you were told that if you don't stay balanced, if you don't play by their rules, you'll crash. And so you've kept walking, one foot in front of the other, keeping your head down, pretending that everything is okay. But it's not, is it? You've felt that hollow ache in your chest, the one that grows louder every day as you realize that you're not living, you're surviving. You've been surviving someone else's game. You've been told how to think, how to feel, how to dream. The world has given you a script, and for too long, you've followed it without question. And with every step, every moment you spent playing by their rules, a piece of yourself was lost. A part of your fire, your passion, your true self. The one that's been buried beneath the weight of other people's expectations. Society told you who you should be. Your family told you who you should become. Your friends told you how you should live, and the world told you what success looked like. And somewhere along the way, you started believing it. You started believing that you weren't enough. You started believing that your worth was tied to the roles they assigned to you. You started believing that the only way to succeed was to play by their rules. But now you're tired. You're tired of the lies, tired of pretending, tired of chasing a dream that isn't even yours. You feel like you're trapped in a cycle, a never-ending loop of expectations that have nothing to do with who you truly are. The weight of it all has been suffocating, and the more you try to break free, the tighter the chains seem to pull. You've tried to fight, but every time you push against the walls they've built around you, you find yourself back in the same place, stuck, defeated, exhausted. You've lost count of how many times you've felt like giving up, how many times you've thought that maybe this is just the way life is, that maybe you're not meant for more. But deep down, you know better, don't you? Deep down, there's a voice, a whisper, that tells you that you were never meant to play by their rules. The truth is, the villain in your story isn't some external force. It's not the world, it's not society or your family or your friends. No, the real villain is the fear inside you. The fear that keeps you stuck. The fear that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never measure up, that you'll fail if you try to break free. It's the fear that whispers that it's too late, that you've missed your chance, that you're not strong enough to make a change. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of being judged. And it's the most powerful villain you've ever faced, because it doesn't just live outside of you, it lives within you. Or 2030, it's the voice that holds you back, that keeps you small, that convinces you that you don't have the right to be more. But let me tell you something, that fear is a lie. That fear is the game they want you to play. It's the invisible force that keeps you in chains, that keeps you playing by their rules. But you don't have to play anymore. You don't have to stay trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, of second-guessing, of playing it safe. You don't have to keep shrinking to fit into a box that was never meant for you. The limits they've placed on you, they were never yours to accept. You've been given a map, a set of directions that were written by someone else, and you followed those directions blindly, believing that they were the only way. But I'm here to tell you something. That map doesn't lead to your truth. It leads to their version of your life. It leads to their rules, and it's time to throw it away. You're standing at a crossroads. You can keep playing the game, keep following the script, keep living by someone else's rules. Or you can make a choice. You can choose to break free. You can choose to rewrite the rules. You can choose to stop letting the world dictate who you are and start taking control of your own destiny. The fear will still be there. The doubts will still creep in, but you can face them. You can challenge them. And when you do, you will see that the game they've been playing all along was never meant to hold you back. It was meant to show you just how strong you are. Because here's the thing. You've been playing someone else's game for far too long. You've been living by their rules, letting their expectations shape your life, but deep down, you've always known that you were meant for something more. You've always known that you were meant to create your own path, that you were meant to live a life that's true to who you really are. You've felt it, you've known it, and now it's time to act on it. The rules are yours to change. The game is yours to control. All it takes is the courage to stop following the map and start forging your own way. So I ask you this, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep playing by their rules or finally ready to rewrite a game? Are you going to keep shrinking, hiding, playing small? Or are you ready to step into your power and claim the life you were always meant to live? The choice is yours, the rules are yours to change. And the only thing standing between you and your true potential is the fear that's kept you stuck in someone else's game. It's time to break free. It's time to step into your power. The world is waiting for you to change the game. The question is, will you? You've been there, haven't you? At that point where the weight of it all feels too heavy to bear. It's not just exhaustion anymore, it's a suffocating, relentless feeling that seeps into your bones. The world feels like it's closing in, as if the walls are slowly, steadily closing in around you. You've tried to escape, tried to push through, but no matter how hard you fight, no matter how many times you tell yourself, this is the last time, you find yourself back in the same place. The cycle keeps spinning, the same game, the same rules, the same defeat. It's almost as if you've been trapped in an endless loop, a never-ending replay of all the times you've failed. All the times you've been told you weren't enough. All the times you felt like the world had already decided who you were, and you never got a say in it. In moments like this, the weight of the world feels suffocating. Every part of you wants to scream, to lash out, to break free from the chains that hold you. But it's like there's no room to move, no way out. It feels as though every effort you make is futile, like you're pushing against a force too strong to break. The thoughts echo in your mind. This is it. This is where I am now. There's no going forward, no escape, no hope. And with each passing day, that feeling of hopelessness grows thick and heavy, as if there's no room for anything else. The despair feels so real, doesn't it? You're stuck in a world that doesn't seem to care. Every step you take forward feels like it leads you back to square one. You've poured your energy into trying to fit in, to play by their rules, but no matter what you do, you still feel like an outsider. You still feel like you're not enough. And in those quiet moments, when you're alone with your thoughts, it feels like the world is playing a game that you'll never win. The rules were never meant for you, and yet you're stuck trying to play by them, trying to win a game that was rigged from the start. It's draining, isn't it? That feeling that no matter how hard you try, you can't break free from the expectations, the limitations, the voices in your head telling you that you'll never be good enough. It's exhausting to keep up the act, to keep pretending that everything is fine when inside you feel like you're falling apart. You've been living in a constant state of stress, fear, and doubt, and it's starting to take its toll. You feel worn out, numb almost, as if you've been running on empty for so long that you don't even remember what it feels like to be whole. The pieces of you that you once held so dear, your dreams, your fire, your passion, are slipping through your fingers like sand. But here's the thing, you're not broken, you're not lost, you're not beyond saving. The truth is, this moment, the one where everything feels like it's slipping away, is the exact moment where you get to decide who you will be. It's easy to stay in this place of despair. It's easy to keep believing that the world has control over your fate, to keep waiting for someone to come and fix it, to hand you the answer, to pull you out of the darkness. But that's not how this works. That's not how life works. You are not a passive bystander in your own story. The world has no power over your fate unless you allow it. They can try to dictate your worth. They can try to tell you who you are, what you're capable of, where you should be. But they don't get to decide. You do. The only thing holding you back is the story you're telling yourself, that the despair, the hopelessness, the feeling of being trapped is permanent. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. None of this is permanent. This is the moment where everything can shift, right now, this very second. But first, you need to face something uncomfortable. And you've been playing along. You've been playing by the rules they set for you, even though they were never meant for you. You've been letting your fears, your doubts, and the voices of others dictate your path. And that's not their fault, it's yours. That's the hard truth. You've been complicit in your own imprisonment. The chains are there because you've allowed them to be there. You've accepted them. You've been there. You've believed the lies. You've allowed yourself to become a pawn in someone else's game. And as much as it hurts, as much as it stings, you need to face that. Because once you do, you will realize that the only thing standing between you and your freedom is you. The world hasn't beaten you. Your circumstances haven't defeated you. You've been defeated by your own unwillingness to break free, your own hesitation to face the discomfort of stepping out of the game that's been keeping you small. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to keep playing. This is your chance to choose something different. This is your chance to take back control. But it starts with you. It starts with the courage to look your despair in the face and say, enough. It starts with the courage to stop blaming the world for your pain and take responsibility for your own power. It starts with you acknowledging that the fear you've been carrying, the doubt you've been feeding, it was never meant to control you. You were meant for so much more. Yes, this moment hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like the world is crashing down around you. But in this pain, in this discomfort, lies your power. You cannot change anything without first facing the truth, that you have the strength to overcome this. You have the power to rise. But it requires you to stop playing by their rules and start playing by your own. This is the turning point. This is where the shift begins, and it begins with you. You've been living in the dark, haven't you? The days feel endless and the nights longer, but even in the pitch black, something stirs. It's subtle at first, this flicker of possibility. You might not see it, not yet, but it's there, buried deep within you, waiting for the moment when you are ready to acknowledge it. That's what the darkness does, doesn't it? It hides everything. Your hopes, your dreams, your potential. Yet it also holds the most incredible gift, the ability to grow. Sometimes we think that darkness is our enemy, that it is the thing holding us back. But what if it's actually the soil, the rich, fertile ground from which your new life can sprout? The seed has already been planted. All that remains is for you to trust that it will grow. See, there's something profound about the way change begins. It doesn't happen in the bright, clean light of certainty. It happens in the mess, in the chaos, in the pain. Like a seed buried beneath the earth, it can't see the sun, it can't feel the wind, and yet it is alive. It is reaching. It is pushing against the confines of its environment, even when the world seems to be pressing down on it. And eventually, it breaks free. The darkness doesn't stop it. The weight of the soil doesn't crush it. It is not defeated by its conditions. It rises. Your growth is no different. Transformation doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It doesn't happen when the stars align or when you have all the answers. It happens in the moments you can't see a way forward. It happens when you're ready to let go of the belief that your circumstances define you. And it happens when you realize something. You have the power to plant your own seeds of change. The moment you decide to take control, to stop playing the game the world set for you, is the moment transformation begins. You don't need to wait for some outside force to save you. You don't need to wait for the right time or the right people. You already have everything you need. You have the strength to rise, to rewrite your narrative. You have the power to make the decision right now. What if I told you that the very same soil that has held you down all this time is the soil that will nourish your growth? That the weight you've been carrying, the struggles you've been facing, are not your punishment, but the catalyst for your transformation. Everything you've experienced, the pain, the failures, the disappointments, has been a test of your strength, a lesson in resilience. And now, it's time to break free from the illusion that you're stuck. You are not stuck. You are in the process of becoming. Change doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require having everything figured out. It doesn't require being ready for what's coming. It simply requires that you decide. You decide that you will no longer be defined by the pain of your past. You decide that you will no longer let the world tell you who you are. You decide that this moment, this very moment, is the turning point. This is where your story begins to shift. Think about a seed. It doesn't have a manual. It doesn't have a blueprint. It simply grows. It pushes through the darkness with blind faith in its own potential. It knows that if it's patient enough, if it's persistent enough, the light will come. And when it does, it will break free. It will reach for the sky. It will bloom into something beautiful, something strong and unstoppable. This is what's inside you, a seed waiting to grow. You may not see it yet. You may feel as if you are surrounded by darkness, but it's in that darkness that your potential is being nurtured. All you need is the courage to push through, to trust in your own strength, and to know that this darkness is not your enemy. It is your opportunity. You are not powerless. You are not small. You are not broken. You are a force of nature, and you have everything you need to change. The moment you decide, you begin to change. The moment you decide, you start to grow. It's easy to feel defeated when all you see is darkness. It's easy to feel like nothing is ever going to shift, like you're stuck in an endless cycle of failure and frustration. But what if I told you that the moment you decide to plant the seed of change is the moment everything begins to shift? What if I told you that within you, there is a wellspring of strength, so vast, so deep, that no obstacle could ever drown it? The power to transform, to rewrite your story, to break free from the constraints of this world. It's all inside you. You just have to believe it. You have to take that first step, that first decision to change, and trust that the rest will follow. You don't need to see the full path. You don't need to know exactly how it will unfold. You just need to trust that the seed you plant today will grow into something powerful tomorrow. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the world to give you the green light. You are the one who decides. You are the one who can make the change. And all it takes is one decision. You are ready. You are capable. You are unstoppable. The seeds of change are within you. Now it's time to plant them. You've been waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to rise, waiting for someone to see your worth and finally validate your existence. But the truth, the harsh, undeniable truth, is that your worth was never dependent on someone else's approval. It was never about waiting for the world to say, you're ready now. You've been living in the lie that your success, your happiness, your freedom were controlled by someone or something outside of you. And now, it's time to stop waiting. You are the hero of your story, not the victim, not the bystander, not the one who waits for the world to change before you can move. You are the one who changes the world. It starts with you, right here, right now. Think about the heroes of the stories you've read, the ones who've overcome impossible odds, the ones who've faced betrayal, loss, or even death itself. Did they wait for permission to rise? Did they wait for the world to offer them a comfortable, easy path? No. They fought. They climbed, crawled, bled, and bared their scars with pride. They took every ounce of pain and turned it into fuel for their journey. They created their own truth. And that's exactly what you must do now. Stop seeking validation from the world, the applause, the acknowledgement. It will come, but that should never be your reason for rising. Your reason for rising should be that you were born to conquer, you were born to defy expectations, to break free from the chains of doubt and fear that others have tried to bind you with. Let's face the truth. Pain has shaped you. It sculpted you. Every time you fell and got back up, you became stronger. Every heartbreak, every failure, every moment where you thought you couldn't go on, it all added to the fire that burns within you now. Pain is not your enemy. It never was. Pain is the crucible, the forge, the very furnace in which your resilience is being tested. It is where your power is being born. You have carried it with you for so long, this weight. But it is time to stop seeing it as a burden. The pain you've endured is the foundation of your strength. It is your weapon. It is your armor. When you realize this, when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, you begin to understand something profound. You are no longer bound by anyone's rules. You no longer have to play by the world's script. The world doesn't define you anymore. It doesn't control your fate. You are the one who writes your story. You are the one who decides how your narrative unfolds. You have the power to redefine your life, to rewrite the rules that once held you back. No one else gets to dictate your worth. No one else gets to tell you what you can or can't achieve. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. And right now, you can choose to break those limits. Right now, you can choose to embrace your true power. Your journey doesn't end when the world tells you to stop. It begins when you decide to keep going. You have been in through the fire, and it has only made you stronger. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They're emblems of your survival. They are proof that you have endured, proof that you have faced the storms, and you are still standing. It's time to stop playing small. Stop dimming your light to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You are not here to be someone else's idea of success. You are here to blaze your own trail. You are here to break the mold, to challenge the status quo, to live on your own terms. This world doesn't get to tell you who you are. You do. And here's the thing. You don't need permission. You never did. You've been waiting for someone to come and rescue you, to tell you that you have permission to be great, to be powerful, to be unapologetically you. But that time has passed. The permission you've been waiting for is already inside of you. It always has been. This is where your story changes. Right now. You don't need external validation to know that you are worthy. You don't need to wait for the world to give you the green light. You are the one who gives yourself permission to rise. You are the one who decides when enough is enough, when the pain stops defining you and you start defining yourself. You have all the power you need within you. It has always been there, buried beneath the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity. But now it's time to let that power rise to the surface. It's time to stop letting anyone else's rules dictate your life. It's time to make your own rules, to live by your own standards, to create a world that is shaped by your vision, not theirs. You were never meant to be a puppet in someone else's game. You were meant to be the one who creates the game. You are the hero of your own story, and this is where you take control. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more playing by the world's rules. The time has come for you to write your own. The time has come for you to take your place at the helm of your life, to lead with confidence, and to show the world just how powerful you truly are. This is your moment. This is your time to rise. You are not defined by your struggles. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are not defined by the fears of. You are defined by your will to rise, by your refusal to play by anyone else's rules. This is your game now, and you're about to win. This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've struggled, you've fought. You've tried to make sense of everything that's happened, but now, finally, you're standing on the edge of something greater. The fog is lifting and the path is becoming clear. You can feel it, can't you? Claudian, that shift, that undeniable realization, you are not just a passenger on this journey. You are the one driving it. This is your moment. The moment when everything changes. This is where you stop questioning your power and start embracing it fully. All the pieces of your life, the pain, the struggle, the chaos, it's all coming together now. You see, for so long you've been waiting for something to happen, something external to change, something to spark your transformation. But the truth is, the change was never going to come from out there. It was always within you. And now you see it, don't you? You've always had the power. You've always had the strength. You've always had the strength. The entire time, you were the one who held the pen, who had the power to write your own story. The world didn't set the rules for you. You set them. The conditions of your life weren't handed to you. They were shaped by your thoughts, your choices, your actions. You've been playing the game the world set for you, but now you realize you are the one who gets to create the game. This is the pivotal moment, the turning point, the moment when you stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your future. And everything you need to make that happen is already inside of you. Every struggle you faced, every challenge you've overcome, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, all of it was preparation for this. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience, you've been building it all along. And now it's your time to put it to work. You have the power to change everything. The life you've been waiting for, the success you've been craving, the happiness you've been seeking. It's all within your grasp, but this is the critical moment, the one that will define your future. The question is, what will you do with this power? Will you embrace it? Will you step into your greatness, knowing that you have everything you need to rewrite the story? It's easy to think that we don't have what it takes to create change. We're conditioned to believe that change comes from external circumstances, from luck or fate or the approval of others. But now you see that all along, the power to change has been yours. It always has been. You can feel it now, can't you? The shift, the awakening. You've been playing the game, but now you realize you don't have to play by anyone else's rules. The rules are yours to create. You are the one who determines the conditions of your life. This moment is the turning point where you stop being controlled by the outside world and start creating your own destiny. You are the one who gets to decide what comes next. And this is the moment that will define everything. This is the moment where you take control of your future. This is the moment where you make the decision that you will no longer be held back by fear, by doubt, by the opinions of others. You are in control now. You are the one who sets the rules. Now, let me say this again, because it's the most important truth you can ever learn. You have the power to change everything. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. You are the one who has the ability to rewrite your story, to break free from the limitations you've placed on yourself, to rise above the challenges you've faced. This is your awakening. This is your revelation. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your life. You are the one who decides what comes next. This moment will define your future. It's time to stop doubting. It's time to stop waiting for permission. It's time to take that first step into your new life, into the future you've always dreamed of. You have everything you need within you. You have the strength, you have the power, you have the resilience. You are ready. The world doesn't get to define you. The world doesn't get to set the rules for you anymore. You are the one who gets to decide. You are the one who creates your future. And this is the moment where it all begins. This is your time. You have everything you need to change everything, right now. Now, it's your move. You've come so far, and now, in this moment, you stand on the precipice of something incredible. You look back on the path you've traveled, the obstacles you've overcome, the pain you've endured, and you can see it clearly now. Every step, every setback, every trial has led you to this moment of realization. You've been building yourself all along, piece by piece, and now you are on the verge of becoming the person you were always meant to be, who you were before. The one who played by the world's rules, the one who felt trapped by circumstances and other people's expectations. That person is no more. That version of you is fading into the background, becoming part of your past. And what you are becoming, what you are stepping into, it's nothing short of extraordinary. You are no longer someone who simply survives the rules that others set for you. You are someone who creates the rules. The past versions of you, those moments of self-doubt, the moments when you questioned your worth, when you believed you were bound by the limits of your circumstances. They no longer define you. You've outgrown them. You've risen beyond them. The person you are becoming is someone who doesn't just play the game, they change the game. You are powerful, you are confident, and you are relentless in your pursuit of success. Where once you may have felt uncertain, unsure of your place in the world, now you know exactly who you are and what you are capable of. You are a force to be reckoned with, and no one, no obstacle, no fear, no external force can stand in your way. Imagine your future now. Picture it clearly in your mind. You wake up each day knowing that you are living life on your own terms. You are unapologetically you, fearless, unstoppable, and proud of who you've become. You pursue your goals with unwavering determination, knowing that nothing is impossible for someone who knows their worth. The world, once a place where you had to fight for validation, is now a place where you command respect. You no longer wait for opportunities to come to you, you create them. You have the power to shape your destiny, and you do it with grace, strength, and an unyielding belief in yourself. The greatness you've been striving for, the success you've been reaching for, it's no longer a distant dream. It's a reality that you are stepping into right now. The future you've always imagined, it's already within your grasp. You are becoming the person who walks with confidence, who makes decisions with certainty, who takes action with power. You are becoming the person who no longer fears failure, because you know that failure is just another stepping stone on the path to greatness. Take a moment, reflect on everything that has brought you here. All the pain, all the struggle, all the moments when you thought you couldn't go on. Those were the moments that built you. Those were the moments that forged your resilience, your strength, your character. You've already proven to yourself that you can overcome anything. You've already shown the world that you are capable of things most people can only dream of. Every challenge you've faced has been a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. And now, look at what you've become. Someone who has not only survived, but thrived. Someone who has rewritten their story. Someone who has reclaimed their power. The strength you've built is undeniable. The courage you've cultivated is unshakable. And the potential that is waiting for you is limitless. This is your ultimate transformation. The person you were before is nothing but a shadow of the person you are becoming. You are not just surviving life anymore. You are living it. You are conquering it. You are creating it. So now, with all that strength, all that power, all that newfound clarity, what will you do next? What will you do next? The world is yours for the taking. Your story is yours to write. You have everything you need to step into your greatness and claim the success that you've worked so hard for. This is just the beginning. The person you've become, the person you're becoming, that is your true self. You have arrived, you are ready, and the world better be ready for the force you are about to become. This is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The time to stop holding back, to stop hesitating, to stop living in the shadow of fear and doubt. This is the moment where you step into your true power, the power that you've always had but may have been too afraid to claim fully. But now, that fear, that doubt, they no longer have control over you. The chains that held you down have been broken, and it's time for you to rise. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You are not the person who played by the old rules, who let others define you, who let fear dictate your every move. You are someone new now, someone powerful, someone unstoppable. And the world is waiting for you to step into that power and claim what is rightfully yours. And you, right now, step up into the... But here's the thing. This is not just some moment of realization. This is not just some feel-good epiphany that fades with time. This is a call to action. The moment of clarity is only the beginning. Now, you need to take the next step. You need to act on what you've learned. You need to prove to yourself, to the world, to everyone who ever doubted you, that you are not just talk, you are action. You are transformation, and you are going to show up like never before. How do you begin? How do you take this powerful realization and turn it into tangible change? It's simple. Start by redefining your rules. You've been playing by rules that were never meant for you. Rules created by others, designed to limit you, to box you in. But those rules, they don't apply to you anymore. It's time to throw them out. It's time to create your own rules. Rules that align with who you are now. Rules that reflect your true worth, your true power, your true potential. What does that look like in practice? It starts with one small but powerful decision. You will no longer settle for less than you deserve. You will no longer wait for permission. You will no longer look outside yourself for validation. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It is inherent in you. It is non-negotiable. You will start acting like someone who knows their worth, someone who commands respect, someone who doesn't need to seek approval. You will start making decisions that reflect your new mindset, your new understanding of your potential. Next, start taking bold action, the kind of action that feels uncomfortable at first, the kind that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where transformation begins. You're not just going to wait for things to happen to you anymore. You're going to make them happen. And you're going to do it with confidence, with courage, and with conviction. Every decision you make, every action you take should be in alignment with your new rules. Every step you take should be a step towards the life you've been waiting for. And when the doubts creep in, and they will, remember this. You are in control now. You are not bound by the old rules anymore. The fear, the insecurities, the limiting beliefs, they no longer have power over you. You decide what happens next. So what are you waiting for? You've learned the truth. You've seen your potential. You know who you are and what you are capable of. Now it's time to act. It's time to step into your greatness. It's time to take the world by storm. And I'm telling you right now, you will not be denied. Your future is yours for the taking. You've been given the tools, the wisdom, the strength. Now it's time to use them. You've already done the hard part. You've broken free from the chains. Now it's time to run, to soar, to build the life you've always dreamed of. This is your moment. This is your time. You are no longer bound by the old rules. You are no longer a prisoner of the past. The game is yours to control now. Step into your power, own it, and never look back.